And now there's this big kind of pendulum swing back to being back in the office and companies pushing that. That's been really interesting for me to watch and navigate as a remote employee.
Now, real quick, how do you think that shift that companies are making from being remote, how do you think that those kind of rug pulls from a company influence or change the culture when they were previously like a remote first environment?
I mean, I think it definitely changes like my whole team, my company is going through the same thing. And it just feels like everyone is on edge all the time and like doesn't know when some big announcement is going to hit. So just the day to day, like feeling of showing up and going through the motions of work is kind of rattled. And yeah, I just definitely don't think it's in a positive vein because sometimes these decisions like sound good on paper or align on the website, but when you think about the actual people impacted or how that affects them, maybe they live 3 hours away. Like when you actually break it down and start to think about how it affects human people, it doesn't make sense. So
Yeah. Circling back to the culture conversation, I think that's one of the most, if not the most important thing when considering a company. And it's never what's defined or communicated by leadership. It's always the experience and the people. And so you have to talk to the people and you have to spend some time there. You would hope that the communication and the definition that they provide and their values align with the culture, but that's not always the case. Now, I've worked at places that didn't really have a defined culture, but of course they had a culture. And I've worked at places where their tagline and motto is everywhere, and they've done a good job of setting those boundaries in the hiring process, making sure that candidates align with those values and that it just creates an atmosphere where everybody's striving toward the same goal and there's no confusion, and it just makes it easy to do your job and know that the person beside you is aligned with the same goal. So I think culture is most important, but again, it has nothing to do with what they define as the culture. It's the people that they hire and how well they maintain those boundaries for what they accept.